Hello, and welcome to another edition of Squiggly Gamer's Battlefield 3 Weapon Guides. Today we're looking at the Russian bullpup, the A-91 from the Engineer class. The A-91 entered production in 1991, and in 2008 the manufacturer released a statement saying the weapon was no longer in production or service. Manufactured in Tulla by the KBP, or Instrument Design Bureau, the A-91 broke several universal rules regarding a Russian-produced weapon. With virtually all Russian weapons based around the well-known AK-47, the bullpup configuration was indeed a bold move by the KBP. The main advantage: the barrel of the A-91 is longer than the M4 at 415mm, but measures almost 100mm shorter in length at 660mm. Bullpups do have massive advantages over conventional configurations. By holding the weapon closer to the body, you can reduce muzzle climb and keep the weapon on target. However, there is one major and potentially lethal flaw with them. If a round was to jam and explode in the firing chamber, you wouldn't want your chin resting on it. This one thing alone puts a lot of operators off from using this type of weapon, even with the countless benefits. Several versions of the A-91 were built, including one to fire the NATO standard 5.56 by 45mm round. Again, another bold move. All Russian small arms fire their own standard of rounds, but the KBP saw that they needed to create a weapon available to all to have any kind of future with the weapon. Two interesting features on the A-91 has allowed the weapon to remain in the public eye. Although it has not seen worldwide success, the first batch of the A-91 had an underslung grenade launcher mounted above the barrel. The benefit of this was that so they could include a vertical grip into the weapon. This proved to be ineffective and confused the weapon operators, so it was moved and incorporated into the body of the weapon, with the firing trigger for the launcher fitted just centimeters in front of the main weapon trigger. Other variants were built without the launcher, but it's their ideas and unusual applications that will live long in the memory. Another feature was adapted by FN Herstal for the F2000. Whether to stop hot metal casings hitting nearby troops, or because they wanted to try and make an ambidextrous weapon, the spent casings are ejected above the pistol grip rather than above the magazine. As rounds are fired, the casings are sent down a short tube and drop harmlessly onto the ground. By design or not, the A-91 is almost fully ambidextrous like FN's P90. In game, the A-91 is only available to the Engineer class and unlocked after 58,000 experience points. It has one of the highest rates of fire at 800 rounds per minute. Only the M4 can match this. Damage is even for all the Engineer carbines, with the exception of the Scar H. The A-91 deals 25 hit points to 15 meters and tails off to 14.3 at 45 meters. Another advantage of this gun is its low recoil and good hipfire accuracy, both due to the bullpup configuration. The magazine is standard to 30 rounds. However, due to balancing, the reloads is the longest of all the carbines at 2.62 seconds with rounds still in the magazine and 3.3 empty. The weapon is geared to close quarter combat, and though its stats measure the same to the others, it feels inadequate to mid to long range. The low recoil does help to stay on target in full auto, but close quarters is where the strengths lie. So my advice: keep it for the smaller maps with vehicles, like Grand Bazaar or Serene Crossing. It is tempting to use the A-91 on team deathmatch and such. However, the Engineer class as a whole is weighted on a map with no tanks to destroy. Attachments: the red dot or holographics sight suits the A-91. There's no real need for the ACOG at close range. You're just increasing your aim time and viewed recoil. Now, the middle attachment slot is interesting. According to the battle log's own detail of the weapon, the A-91 cannot have a grip because of the bullpup configuration. This is not true in real life or in game. The grip is the only attachment in the middle slot, so I recommend going with that one. For the other attachment slot, it's really down to preference. A heavy barrel will increase your long range accuracy, laser sights will increase hip fire, but it's already fairly effective. Tack lights to bright and confuse other people, muzzle flash and suppressor. We all know what they do, and their advantages depends on what sort of map and mode and your specific playstyle. The A-91 had a difficult early life, but its advantages were soon realised and accepted by the Russian people. Although no longer in service, it paved the way for some of the modern weapons we see today. Keep it close quarters and it shines as it was intended, and you'll show people that change can be a good thing.